Ugh, Facebook Live. God, I've been on it for time. So I just wonder if anybody can see that I've gone live, or if they can hear me or not. I might even just make this a test and start again because I can't tell. I might delete this one. I've seen an head pop up. Just let me know if you can hear me, if there's no point talking because I'm not recording the screen as well without else, so it'll be a waste. So if anyone can just let me know if you can hear me. Slow connection, I bet it is. Hey Rach. Ugh. Okay, now it's like news at 6 o'clock with everyone logging on. Okay, now. So, can anyone hear me? Hi, Han. I'm so fucking tired. I hadn't even got the wherewithal. But 20 days later after... Rachel, everyone's going to make me laugh. I need to put comments to the side because not only am I going through a tragic scenario, I am really, really funny and I know a lot of funny people. So it's distracting me. I'm just going to put you to the side. Alright, so in a nutshell, because people don't usually believe me about the level of shock and trauma that I have been in for a long time, I'm just going to try and make it clear by explaining some little bit more information so you believe me. Right, God, don't know where to start. So I haven't got any order about how I'm going to do this because I didn't really know. At first I thought I was going to do it near the death, but then I went on a rampage starting my own proceedings. And I was just on phone 9 hours a day, writing emails 9 hours a day, blah, 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 because people were ignoring me. And it's 20 days after my mum's life was taken. Let's just put it like that. So 20 days feels like a long time for no formal acknowledgement from the parties involved. So I thought I'd pipe up. The first thing I want to do, thanks Kelly and everyone, is say thank you to everyone who's been heard about the story. Maybe you've heard about it, about my mum's life being taken on New Year's Day, or who's maybe heard about it before you knew it was me. You might have heard about a woman's body being found. I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm even saying it. You might have heard on like spiraling around on the social media that a woman's body had been found on legal shops, on gaunt shops. And then you might have seen my post where I made a statement and then I posted it into the Star and the Sheffield Star, what they'd put up, and I posted my statement from my own page saying, sad to say, this is my mum, and it's been down to neglect from services. So my internet is saying slow connection, but I know for a fact that my Facebook and my social medias and anything like that is going to soon start getting heavily shadow banned, because what I'm coming with is so clear cut that I can feel it already. So I'm nipping in to say something. Main thing I want to say is thank you so much to people what have shown acknowledgement to the fact that what I've said. I've said my mom's life has been taken due to neglect, serious safeguarding issues. I'm not on about some little flimsy, like, you know, when people are talking about, a lot of people are saying the sentence, my family member's been let down by services, my brother has, my partner has. and so on. And do you know what? I believe him. I do. And they will have. But this has happened in a way that it is so direct, clear cut, that I can't find a word for it, I can't call it a mistake. I can't call it incompetence. Yeah, I don't know what it some people have said to me, is it willful? Because I've provided so much alarm bells and warnings that about my mom needed safeguarding, and they weren't doing it properly right up for 3 years, right up until the last final breath. So like I said, I've not got no order. First thing I just want to say is thanks. You'll notice a GoFundMe. I've never dealt with a GoFundMe. A GoFundMe popped up quite soon after my mum's death. I've heard about it, but I've seen people do it. But I don't really have to do it out like that. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not one of them. I don't really. But what happened is our family friend, she knew the family. She knew my mum and dad, and she lived it with us, and she set the GoFundMe up after hearing about what had happened off her own back. I've not even spoke to her for since I were at school, maybe, or a bit after school. But she took it upon herself to set a GoFundMe up to help us with funeral costs for my mum, because my dad's only just died 6 months ago. And obviously, 2 parents dead within 6 months, it's quite harsh. I can't actually process how harsh this is, but I know how it feels. It does feel harsh. So the GoFundMe went up, and you know what? It really has helped us. Because what we're going to do is, it's helped us because I've had to cancel all my work due to pure shock till March. And I don't even know how I'll be then. So I'm so, I ain't got no words for the person who set up. I don't know if she wants a name saying, that's the only reason I'm not saying it. But I have no words for that. She's done it off her own back. And you know what? It's helped us. And we're going to have enough to pay something towards some costs. So I really come on to say thank you to everyone and just show up and let you know that this is real. The details in that make this story 1 million times worse. So I'm trying not to be too long because I am tired, and I won't. But something made me want to come on today, as opposed to not. Something I would on a percentage wise, I was more pushed to come on today. Yeah, thanks for hearing me. It has the fact that anybody's even coming on to acknowledge me. Right, so I'm going to go into a bit about the position we're in now. I've been quite active and vocal with near enough every, staff member possible in my mum and dad's care, especially over the last 4 years, non-stop every day. It's not a secret, they've both suffered neglect. I've done a complaint when they were both still alive. I had a complaint in across 5 services about my mum and dad and near deaths that have been caused by services and their lack of whatever you want to call it, care, attention, whatever, resources, whatever. And it was a very, very in-depth complaint. I've sent it to a few of my friends. And they were alive then, both parents, when this complaint was going. And then, oh God, I'm so long. Anyway, I did this complaint. It's very, very, very in-depth complaint that covers across 5 organisations: teaching hospitals, social care, mental health services, police. at council. Anyway, that complaint did get acknowledged, but like I said, I had to proper go in depth to get them to acknowledge it. So if I hadn't shown up, they wouldn't have been running towards my mum and dad and saying, hi, Veronica and Roger, we've neglected you and we would like to say sorry. We would like to say that this is not right, it's not going to happen. They don't come to you. So if you haven't got the wherewithal or somebody around you to go and do the complaint, it's like out in life, you're not going to get it. Then they're not going to sort of have some sort of inbuilt integrity to come and say, we've done something bad to you and we're going to show you that. That's not the culture of the NHS. Alright, so I did that. That's been going on. My dad died on 2nd of June 2024. And he had apparently I forgot what it's called, spontaneous stroke, whatever, and blah blah blah. I'm not going to too in depth about it because it's kind of not relevant to everyone. But again, it's I'm very straight to the point. Everybody, because I've been like my mum and dad's main carer since I was a child, and now I'm 36. Especially up until the last 4 years when it's been mad. I've met near enough every staff member there is in Sheffield to do with mental health and, higher ones, lower ones, whatever. If you can call it higher and lower, you know what I mean. And anyway, so that was that. So my dad died at 2nd of June and my complaint was still ongoing, and I had a meeting with like the consultant and some other people on the 3rd, I think it was, either the 3rd or the 4th of June, a couple of days after my dad died. And I turned up to the meeting. I don't know whether it was the day after or what. And they already knew when I got there that he'd deceased, because when they went on to notes, it said deceased. So they all looked at me right shocked, and they said, they treated me different. They were like, what are you here for? Your dad's just died yesterday or whatever. And I was just like, determined. I said, I know. I had to try and hold my own tears back at points and fulfill this meeting, because it had already been stretched out for 2 years. And I said to myself and one of my friends, shall I postpone it? My dad's just died. And they were like, you can, but you're only going to have to stretch it out longer. So I turned up and they were shocked. Anyway, I did this meeting and that was that. Anyway, they ended up writing to me saying, yeah, we do admit that, neglect has happened to both your mum and your dad. I could go into some right detail to make this very finger, but do you know what? I'll get to that. But that's not really what this video is about. It's not really about the gory bits right now. Anyway, so then obviously, like, in a nutshell, I'm going to say it in a nutshell, because I don't know. I'll just say about what position we're in now. So I've never been in this position. I've got a lot of evidence about what's happened. All the parties involved know what's happened. They've been upset themselves. The parties involved have been upset themselves about this. My mom had another 10, 15... Alright, I'm not saying I'm God or out, like I know, but my mom had another 10, 15 years left if she were kept safe. In a small nutshell, sorry to be so long, it's just how I talk, because I've got so much to say, that much, and to try and make it small, it's quite a weird task. But anyway, so then, basically, in a nutshell, my mom has been passed from pillar to post. In a very small nutshell, sorry. Families, just a sec. the family's always needed support for years, you know, because we've already been known to alt services, blah blah blah, you know, that type of thing. But we never had any. So what we did is my mum, my dad, and brother, sister, and me, we just sort of did it ourselves for all them years, for 30 years, and push came to shove, because my dad is 10 years older than my mum. His physical health and that, it were declining, and he ended up going in a care home unexpectedly about a year and a half ago or something, I can't remember dates, which left my mum on her own. My mum has not ever had a capacity that people would think she's got. I.e., she has never been outside past, you know, 6:30 p.m. ever in my life. She's classed as having bipolar, manic depression, since 90s. She's got a thick file, one of the OGs of it, you know, thick file. Let me know if you can hear me. She's got a thick file of everything, and to be honest, a lot of it has been, you know, they treat them how they treat them. These people have been through a lot of trauma, and they drugged my mum early when I were, hang on, 5. So they drugged my mum on lithium every day till her last breath. My mum never put electric and gas on. She's not got capacity to, if she were in a new area, to know where to walk and how to walk back. Only thing that she's known how to do is get a taxi to a place she already knows and back with the same phone number, or on foot round her area, Norfolk Park, local shops, everything where she already knows. So what's happened in a nutshell, I'm sorry if this is long, is my dad's got pulled from household because he needs to be in a care home all of a sudden. My mum's got left on her own. My mum got sectioned in the 90s, initial section. She's never been sectioned since. All them years, 30 years. Until the last 4 years she's been sectioned 4 times. And none of them were her fault. They were all because nothing was in place for her. And I'm sure nothing were in place for many other people either. So when my dad got prized from the house, which was, in a way, it was good for him. He needed it, and it did. They got him weshed up. They got him grubbing him, what my mum couldn't do because she was suffering. And you know what he did? He started to develop relationships in there, and he was the fittest one, and fittest one in the mind as well. But his time came to its end in June 2024. But my mum and my brother were left, and my mum was not known. This is totally alien to her. They've been together for 40 odd years. He's done everything, supported her. All of a sudden he's gone. And we can't pick the pieces up fast enough. And her crisis is there up, and then she's got sectioned. And the sections are something that I want to talk about. Probably on another video as well. Because the brutality, the trauma, thank you everyone, of sections, especially ones my mum's had. Thank you guys. I'll read your comments after. Is something that I do want to go into. I am going to get to that basically. But my mum got sectioned 4 times. In very brutal ways by police. Took 136 suite, which is where police took like a prisoner. Took 136 suite where police take people mentally ill what need to be sectioned and put somewhere for a bit until a bed turns up. And I could go in depth, but I'll try and keep it compact. So in a nutshell, my mum, she doesn't know how to, she hasn't got the capacity. That's what I'm just saying. Because she's been drugged for a long time, but not only that, because my dad's done he's done gas, electric, paid bills, paperwork. She's never done anything of the sort, never worked, because they told her, you can't, you're bipolar, you don't work, you can't, you're bipolar, you don't work, you can't, you're bipolar, you don't work. That's it, that's all she's ever known. So she believed that's what she is, that's it. She carried out a life what mimicked what they said she were. The 2 doctors it takes to tell you that you're bipolar. I think now it's a social worker as well, but whatever. But in them days, it was just 2 doctors. So my mum's got left in this crisis. Me and Mickey trying to pick pieces up. Poor Curtis, you know, he's took to the streets, couldn't take the mood swings, are crazy to be around. Obviously, a lot of people know as well. It's not just me what's dealing with this. So Curtis took to the streets, so I pulled him in my house for a few weeks, until he finally got a good social worker. What was actually happened to be good, and got him into a supported living, what was much better than the position he were in. So now Mum's on her own. We're thinking, fucking hell, we're doing everything possible to alert attention to, and I mean everything possible, like every single thing possible. We weren't getting nowhere. I remember ringing East Glade, and this was part of my complaint. This was written as a formal complaint. I remember ringing them like at least 25 times across course of several months or whatever. They never came out once. That were part of my complaint. She were already at risk then, when they were just not acknowledging that. So, anyway, these sections have been quite brutal. Some of the terms that I will say is, you know, riot vans coming, tasers being shown and pointed at my mum, doors being kicked in with the red thing that police use, frightening her to the bones as a person what's already in crisis. And in 2025, police and services and whoever else thinks there's some sort of degree of importance thinks that that is healthcare. And I'm going to post a picture of that door so you know what I mean. Frightening her to the core, right? PTSD you couldn't dream of. And taking her, throwing her in a van, not knowing where she's going, with these police that are like dogs. You get odd one, what's alright. And so on and so forth. She lands in section wards. I'll be honest with you. A lot of them section ward staff, especially to my mum, are fucking brilliant. They are fucking amazing. They have got fucking eyes in the back of their fucking head, and they know exactly when a mood changes, when it done, where the fuck a patient is, when a door needs locking, when it done everything. I've got a lot of praise to say about a lot of Sheffield section ward staff and other institutions. So then, and they know I have, because I've told them all. I said to them, you guys in here, I don't like these settings. It's very wrong. But the fact that you individuals are making me and my mum feel safe when you're here. Yes, she's locked away, but you're making her feel somewhat safe in a locked away place. Priceless, and I've told him. So, anyway, that's that. Section staff did what they could to get her back up on her feet, and so did we. Mickey would be going down. She'd be taking fucking nail varnish, taking fucking hair products, taking new pyjamas, and getting her smartened up. She's back on her feet again. Gets put back into community because, again, they're totally missing the needs, what she needs. And the truth is, guys, is that she needed intensive support the minute my dad went into care home. So that wasn't there. For whatever reason, let's just say, just work there. I'll get onto them things. That's a different sort of side of it. So then, I can't list off exactly what happened. It doesn't really matter about each section, but basically she got section 4 times. One of the section was a section 3, which is up to 6 months. She got let out within 3 days. How are you going to get put on a section 3 and let out within 3 days? But that's another story for another time. It's nuts. So then, what I'm trying to say to you guys, yeah, thank you. What I'm trying to say then is, all this time, I was raising all the alarms to everyone involved in her care. And I mean formally. Like letters, emails, phone, in person. And again, no help came. So everyone just started losing trust. Anyway, so then it was all about in art. And the aim was meant to be get mom into her own supported living or her own place, where residential place where she stays and lives. Not a section ward, because it's not fit for someone to live in, and you're not allowed to be in them when you're being seen to be well. Like they're not allowed to keep you for excessive amounts of time, because then that's classed as torture to them or whatever. So then it was a game of, we need to find accommodation, blah blah blah, and there weren't any coming up. It was this, that, it's loads to it. But and anyway, in a nutshell, very very short nutshell, my dad passed away. My mom still sectioned when my dad passed away. I went down to see him on his deathbed, and I had to say, I had to go into the section ward across town, and I had to apply to get my mum out to come and bring her with her staff to see my dying dad. Then I had to ship her back to the section ward. Please don't ever try to test me. I've told you before. I've told you. So, did that. She got to see him, but he weren't awake. He was in a coma. So, then, anyway, so the aim was get her in a thingy. Now, just to nip it in bud, point is, we tried. I tried to be at every meeting, to voice how I'm doing now to everybody. I've probably dealt with 200 members of staff with long interactions. So that my aim was, if I can get as much information to each staff member about my mum in a capacity, just in case they miss it, they might be able to support her in the way she needs and meet her needs. It took a lot out of me. Even doing this video is taking a lot out of me, but I wanted to get it out. I hope it makes sense, because I've got a lot more detail, but it might not be of interest. Anyway, so then it was all about me I was just trying to get all information across to everyone who, because she was being passed around over the last couple of years, about 15 different institutions, crisis house, section wards, various ones, this, that, other. Anyway, so the aim was, and quite a lot of staff were agreeing with me in section wards and stuff, and other staff, that Veronica needs to be in an intensive setting. And we knew that, me and Mickey knew that. So social care, about a few months ago, they're in charge of who goes where, who gets what, blah, blah, blah. And they said to me, she's not residential enough, because I filled form out with brand new social workers. These social workers are just going like that. They're not your social worker like they used to be for a long amount of time. It's, you're pulling them in from agency. You're pulling them in from here and there. They might last a few weeks, then they're gone. So my mum had about, I can remember off the top of my head, 3 social workers within about a few months. They could never get to know her, blah, blah, blah. Every single one of them, if they ever see this video, knows that I'm talking bang truth, because I've talked truth to them as well. Anyway, so social care panel a few months ago said, my mum's social worker said, we all tried to get quite various staff involved what had been doing the work with my mum, you know, for when she's been in certain settings for a considerable amount of months, 3 to 6 months, you get to learn what the fuck that person's like. Whereas these social workers and the elusive social care panel, you don't even get to meet social care panel, and they make the decisions about capacity tests and who's got capacity and who hasn't. So your social workers, they also are not very close. They're just flitting in, flitting out. Make a few decisions, sign a few papers, see you odd time, They're not got that close relationship. Do you know everyone what had that close relationship with my mom? They all agreed. She's residential.com. Veronica Crawford is residential.com. And we tried to get her in this place. And I am going to say it. Because that place is also... And they'll chat shit. But they have added to this. And it's called the Lister Project. Which my mom was going to be going in temporarily as a temporary measure because she were living on the 136 suite for a few weeks, because even though she weren't doing it wrong, it's just there was nowhere to put her. They were considering hotels for her. I went, you're not putting my mum in an hotel in the middle of nowhere. She ain't got capacity, you divvies. What on... And any other cunt would be going fucking mad by now, I swear to God, but do you know me? No. I ain't done this much work for that shit. So, anyway, so I don't know if you've ever heard of, some of you might have heard of the Decisions Unit, Northern General. It's where you go when you're away from a strafe and they don't know what they're doing with you yet. So you go on the Decisions Unit and you're only meant to be on it for 48 hours. My mum had to live on that for 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember. She lived on it. And they're not even allowed to have patients, not commissioned to have patients past 48 hours. And you get a bit of everything. You get I'm not going to say the worst of the worst, but you get people in some rectangles on there. And my mum, I watched her manage every other cunt on that ward's emotions, all the people what were in even more dire states than her, and she had to balance all these different people's energies, emotions, and she was fucking doing so well. I watched her do that, and I said to staff members, I've watched my mum have to live on these wards, be subjected like some fucking lowest of the low. That's what they were treating her like, not the staff inside, but the process was treating her like that. And she's having to manage some ratings coming in. She made a few friends with some of them, but they were really harming her mental health. Anyway, so they finally got the acts together and ended up putting her in a supported living. Oh no, sorry, just go back. She was meant to be in, we were all pushing, me, staff members, Mika, for a residential place for her, because we knew she needed 3 things, and I made these clear. The 3 things were a nurse-led, or decent enough nurse-led sort of environment where there's somebody on site all the time who deals with medication, so that medication is going down the neck and in the body to ensure to prevent spirals, because if that's missed, I've watched, if that's missed for a couple of hours, it can happen fast and spiral. That's because she's been on it that long, they've left her on it that long, the body does not have any ability to manage its own emotions properly. So when the lithium is not straightening out and flatlining the emotions, when it's not there, everything goes like a firework. That gets treated as a section. So anyway, push came to shove, and it came time to do the accommodation. And this Lister project, honestly, not saying it was perfect, but we went to see it. They all chummed my mum up, the staff there, and they said, you'll be right good here. And someone higher up said, no, she can't come. And I was like, why? And they were just like, it was perfect. It had that nurse atmosphere. They knew what they were doing with medication. They cooked a meal. That one of my second things that I know that she needed, just a healthy meal, 1 a day. She could do rest. And company. It had people there, because some people, they can't live on their own. They need company. Living on your own, I don't think humans are meant to live on their own long term anyway. But especially someone like this, they need staff to prop them up to remind them how to do life throughout the day. So I'm very experienced in mental health. Everyone's talking about mental health now, but you know what I mean. So anyway, So they turned us down and we were devastated because it was fucking perfect. And I'm not saying it was perfect because we've not tried it, but after seeing it, listening to the staff, knowing what goes on there, we knew it was perfect, and they turned us down. Not only that, they chummed her up, said, yeah, you'll be right, goodie, or we do this, we do that. Lifting my mum's spirits and dropping her back down. They did that to her loads of times through the last 3 years. I watched them lift her spirits, drop them, lift her spirits, drop them. And then I had to fuck that idea off. Because I'm not begging. I wasn't begging him. Fuck that. So then, anyway, bring it back to the recent how this took place. Then, anyway, they turned us down. The social care panel said, apparently they make decisions about where people go, residential not, blah, blah, blah. I tried to fill form into the best of my ability. I tried to get all the nuances across about my mum. And all the detail that could prevent crises and death. And they didn't take any of it on board. And I says to the social worker, can I talk to social care panel before they make this decision that she has to be in supported living? And supported living is different to residential. It's your own place with staff going in, a random company going in and out for a few hours. It's not a 24/7 managed place. Some of them are, but what they gave my mum was a flat, staff going in and out for up to 6 hours, but it was starting to be just 2 hours a day. I just want to bring to everyone's attention that there's 24 hours in a day, and if you're in a house on your own and you haven't got capacity to go out or work, or you haven't got links and you haven't got the capacity to do all that, that means you're in your house on your own, you haven't got access to travel, you're in a new area, you've just lost your partner of 40 odd years, and you're completely isolated. It's scary. You've been sectioned so many times, you don't trust the police, because quite clearly, who would at this point? You've got complete trauma PTSD that's completely unaddressed. You've never had one day of therapy. You've got people with slightest bit of anxiety getting therapy. Not all of them, but my mum's not had one day. And eventually they said, no, you've got to, they said she's too young. She's only 61. She's got enough capacity. The form says that, even though we said, no, we filled it into Mestra's ability to say, look, you don't believe us, like. And they said, no, it's got to be supported living. At that point, I had a thought, you know what, maybe I should fucking bring my mum in my own house. But I knew that I was already on my knees with after 30 years of caring. I didn't have much left, so I didn't do that, obviously. And I thought, let's just go and look at the flats that they're offering and see if that's better than no, and maybe I can fill the gaps when the staff aren't there. But I knew it felt very like this isn't enough support. We're still trying to keep all this plate spinning. So they've 2 months ago in October, she took on this flat. It's a really cute flat. She didn't know the area, it was leadless gone. She can't travel except from taxi, but and anyway, in a nutshell, sorry I've been long, but then she moved in October. She survived. I was saying to a friend earlier, she survived so much shit and bounced back up after some of the most terrible, horrendous things. And 2 months into independent living, she's dead. So, what I'm trying to say, the details about how that happened, I've got more details, but I'm still in the middle of proceedings and stuff. I'm right at the beginning of it. So I just wanted to say an overall nutshell. She should never have been in supported living with a random care company who haven't, now I know, have got absolutely no experience in bipolar, manic depression, or intense states of mental health. The slightest bit of anxiety, need a little bit of help to shop, them types of thing, yeah. But I have now realised how much they was just so never meant to be taking these types of clients on. Never. And that's why they were even shocked that she was dead. So, social care should have never ignored the family and the other staff that have spent time with Veronica and said she has, told me what her capacity is. I told the staff her capacity. When I've got myself and section ward staff who are very experienced, telling social care, this is her capacity, she needs residential. Social care, these randomers, panel, turning it down, putting her in there dead within 2 months. It speaks for itself, doesn't it, guys? My mum's survived. Let me do it when we think. Like I said, being sectioned, that's really scary. People think, fucking hell, police coming to the door for something you've done and not coming in. This is when they will come prize you out of your house and throw you in a van when you're already in the right state. She survived. Just the uniform itself used to frighten her. Sirens from ambulances, and even if she's not in a state, frighten her. She's survived. She's survived so much. She's survived falls in a room of seclusion when they threw her in a room of seclusion. Absolutely on one. Manic. No food, no tablets in, no. They just threw her in there because she's a danger to herself and other people. And then she had 3 falls, one which cracked her head open. Part of my complaint. No risk assessments done right. Staff fucked off. Left the job. Anyway, so the details of the care company that's completely failed her, they've been given so much detail from me and my sister about what my mum needs, and I was starting to see after a bit, even though I was trying to run on a treadmill to keep giving him it, I noticed that actually they were not equipped for such clients, and I just don't think that they should even be running. I'm not saying that my mom's dead from there. They haven't got experience, yet they are probably pulling in some rent money from each person that they have as a client. And then I want to just move, that's the nutshell. I want to move on to now. So now, since my mom's death, not one, and when I say the parties, it's just a word I make up, say for it, mental health services, the 3 people in charge of my mum's healthcare, mental health services in Sheffield, this care company, I've holdered back from saying name publicly. I don't know why, but you know, it's probably going to be a lot of shit going forward, so you know, I'll get to that. Some people know. This care company, which is like a private care company, and social care, jointly, they've brought my mum to her demise, her early demise, after all work we've done all these years. None of the parties after the death contacted us to say any acknowledgement about, with any condolences. It was complete silence. To the point I started to get a bit pissed off. Me and Mickey were getting mad. We were getting mad, and we were saying, where the fuck are they? Why aren't they even contacting us to say our mum's dead? Like, they've been looking after, we've been working closely with them all for about a year, you know, and some a bit newer. Not one of them rang me. And it got to about a week and a half, and I started ringing them when I could finally face it, and after I realised they weren't ringing. And they all were devastated. So this is not a usual case where they're holding this composure of, we haven't done anything wrong, we don't know what you're on about. It's a theme, it's a feeling, and a big emotional sadness of, oh my God, Veronica's dead, as if it's their mom. They're shocked, and I'm trying to work it out. Why are they? And all of them have been upset. All of them have been crying. I've heard them, and that we've got no condolences. I rang them. They're still crying days later. How are they crying? How are they crying like 8, 9, 10 days later? And it's really hit him. It's really hit him. And that just shows that this is a different thing. It's like, I know that their stories can quickly change should this turn into a big, which it will, because I'm not allowing this to just run. There's no way. And I think they know that. They know who I am. They all know who I am and what I am. They know how much I've been protecting my family. They know how much work I've done. I've turned up to meetings day after deaths. I want shit to change. I want shit to change on a broader level as well, not just my own family. My thing is, I'm coming to stick a line in the sand with this whole mental health service thing. There's too many people saying, and the amount of people that's messaged me saying, I've lost my this to that, I've lost my this to it as well, is really sad. The way my mum's life ended, cold, it's looking like she's been at New Year's Eve as well. So, you know, weather were bad, this, that, other. I zoom in on it. And I try to stop myself from zooming in how cold she must have been. And stuff, and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, so people are in shock. I'm still in shock. My brother is really, he's got learning difficulties, and he's lost 2 parents, and one like this. He's really struggling. I'm trying to run around and prop him up. I'm completely heartbroken. Me and my sister are supporting each other. We've not had one formal, thanks everyone for listening by the way, we've not had one formal acknowledgement, we've not had a formal condolence. I'll tell you something, guys, only organisation what has formally acknowledged my mum's death, and you're not going to believe this, I got a letter, and it said, we are sorry to hear about Miss Crawford's death, please accept our condolences. Do you know what? Guess we were. Council tax. And you know what? I have never felt comforted from council tax. But I felt comforted from that letter because they'd acknowledged my mum's death. I've not had one acknowledgement from any of the people I've been working with to support my mum, any of the parties. And I've had a formal acknowledgement from council tax before I've had a formal acknowledgement from the parties involved in bringing my mum to her demise. I felt a slight bit of comfort in it because they'd acknowledged that she'd died. How we've been treated from social care, the care company's still violently ignoring me. I've requested all my mum's records from everybody involved, and the care company's violently ignoring me. Because they know what they've done. And I'm not being funny, but whose mum's died? Who's supporting us? Too busy thinking about their own feelings and their own money. And it's disgusting. And the worst ones I've dealt with in all this, in every organisation, is police. And I've already done a complaint about them because they've been treating us like with complete contempt. And if you look what contempt means, if you don't already know what it means, look it up. There's something, you've got your health, let's face it, these parties involved, at least they were showing some empathy for what they've done. And I know tables might turn later and they might start making this difficult for the family and start saying, we didn't do this, we didn't do that, but I've got it all clear. And not just me that's got it, others have got it in case I'm unavailable to provide it all of a sudden. So, but police, different breed. Different breed. I'll leave it at that with them. So, I just want to talk about shock. Like, I will use this as an example because it was quite... When I rang... In fact, I'll not say that example. I'll say another example about shock. For the first week and a half, I couldn't drive because my body was suffering because my mum had been found dead outside the shop 6 months after my dad died, after 30 years of struggle anyway, and she had life left to live. She just didn't get the right support. So my body went into shock, and so did my sisters and my brothers. My brother rang me saying, "What's it mean when you're dizzy and you're wobbling about and that?" And in my own grief, I was just like, "Oh, just make sure you had something to eat and blah blah." But what happened to me, right, a couple of days after I found out about it, I was in my bedroom and I was trying to navigate around, and I was trying to walk around. And what happened is I couldn't hold my body up, so I fell into a wall, into the floor. And what happened was a really beautiful thing. It's mad. I tell the story because it's shocked me. The wall caught me. The wall caught me, and it I fell and the wall caught me. So it provided comfort, the wall and the floor. Like, I was getting around like this, and the wall supported me. And then in that level of shock and trauma, I started to look at wall different. Like, oh my God, like we just walk past walls like they're nothing, floors like they're nothing, but actually they offer. In my dire time of need, when I was on my own, trudging through this bedroom, trying to do the next task, trying to get acknowledgement, trying to do a signal, hey, my mom just been killed, and trying to do the emails and everything. Yeah, I fell and the wall got me, and it provided a level of comfort that I've never experienced before. From a wall. It sounds mad. And I know the people have felt it round when they're in drastic shock and stuff. But I experienced it, and it made me realise that I've been taking these walls for granted. Like, you just look at them and you think it's just a wall, nobody cares. But it propped me up and it comforted me. It comforted me as if it was a person catching me. It sounds mad. But yeah, I just wanted to say that just to give an example about shock. Sometimes you think no one's there, but sometimes something like a wall's there to catch you. And I felt so held by this wall, and I noticed it straight away. I was like, oh, that's really cute. I proper feel comforted. I'm not lying, like... So my breathing's not very good at the minute, so I'm going to bring things to a close. Because there is other things going on other than my mum's death. I'm aware of that. You've got your own lives, this, that, and you know, there's other things going off. But one thing about this, my mum is not going to go out like that, and this is just going to become a story which is here today, gone tomorrow. This is absolutely not going to happen. Because if my mum can get murked off in that sense, when she's got that life ahead of her and she only needed some basics, the 3 basics that I outlined formally, if she can die like that, and we've still not had any police are not been answering us calls, they're not treating it as suspicious, gotta wait for the coroner to see what they say. I know what's happened regardless of what a coroner says. But, like I said, you know, basically, this has been devastating. My mum still had time left. The parties involved, I don't know how they're going to play it. But going forward, I think if they do the right thing and admit to their faults, I think they could help a lot of people. But it's time but if they sort of try and go against what they've done, pretend it hadn't happened, sort of, don't know if it's Stockholm Syndrome, where they mind, I forgot if it's that one or not, but what might happen with these people is, it might be it's going to be too much, it could be too much for them. The pressure from other people above them, saying they've got to act a certain way, yet their emotions are feeling a certain way about it, because they really got on with my mum. Everybody loved my mum. Like, even staff are coming to the funeral, like some section staff and what, like, and other institutions, because we've all done so much work to prop mum up. We've all done it. For her to get put into independent living, dead within 2 months. So my mum will be behind us with this. Trust me. She knows I don't fuck about. Everybody knows I don't fuck about. The staff, everybody. And I'm going to be putting a line in the sand with this. If in the worst instance, every organisation tries to fraud me by saying, well, we did this, we did that, you know, trying to get around the loopholes and all that, even though I've got so much clear-cut stuff, I can tell you now that is going to be worse for them. Because when I start losing even more respect, you know, it's very, very fucking low at minute for all of them. Now, if you tell me this support idea from professionals and services, I would say there's people inside the services that are trying the best, but being able to access support's a different thing. There's some really good staff inside these places, but it's like running on a treadmill back, like, you can't keep up with the demand. So going forward, like I said, I'm doing my own proceedings. I'm watching what's happening. I'm doing what I've got to do. I am an orphan now. That's it. And I will be drawing a line at sand. And I know, because I've been on this journey since I was 6-year-old, and I have always said from the beginning that I'm going to get solutions to why my mom sat drugged on settee shaking like that. And I mean like this. So when I'm 6-year-old, please tell me why my mom's drugged up shaking to that degree. And I said, my intuition said as a child, and I didn't know anything about the world, and I said, I'm going to get solutions. It wasn't me what said it. It was my intuition. I don't know anything about solutions and mental health industries at 6-year-old in fucking 1990. You know, in early 90s, do I? I'm a kid, I'm a child. I don't know anything about justice. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just at little school. I've only just near enough been born. And my intuition told me that I'm going to get solutions for your mum. That, I'm not lying, that's what it said to me very early on, because I remember, she was sat on 30, she weren't looking at me, they'd just drugged her. Very new to drugs, so body was responding with a full arm extension of a shake. That shake lasted up until I was 28 years old, until it started to die down and eventually come to a stop. And she weren't looking at me sat on settee when I was about 6, just numbed out. And that's when I knew I was going to do something, but I didn't really know that I was going to do something, did I? I didn't know I was going to, you know, but ultimately what I'm trying to say, guys, is my mum didn't have to die. You've got a mental health system, social care, and various other services still advertising that they're safe. This is what I want you to know, to take from this. It's not just about me wallowing about what's happened to me. I trusted that an ambulance would be called. I trusted that a 101 could be made, a 101 call, a well-being call to police, even if they just present themselves. I trusted that there would be a lowish basic degree of safety, and there wasn't, and it's ended a life. So my thing is, these services are still advertising as safe, and that to me is a complete fraud, and that's my line in the sand I'm going to be drawing. So I'm going to be looking at capacity tests. I want them investigating, because they didn't listen to me. It's not thorough enough, and a life's been lost. I am going to be this on a level of action to be taken against the parties. Well, like I said, that's something that's still ongoing, so I'll get to that. But when a life's been lost, it goes to a different level. That's all I can say about that. I would have appreciated, and I don't care if it comes after this video, if it gets to him, we would have appreciated some acknowledgement, especially that we've been working together with these people and trying, and they know us and blah blah blah. But if it comes after this, it doesn't count. It's day 20. Every day's felt like a long time to them. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, to advertise as safe from now, social care, mental health services, care companies, be careful, because make sure you can live up to what you're saying you provide. Because I was naive to think that there would even be a bit. I wasn't expecting miracles, diamonds, getting rolled out in limos for a day with loads, but I expected a basic minimum, and that wasn't there. And I've got evidence to back that up as well. So I don't know what's next going forward, but what I do know is that my mum is not going out like that with no acknowledgement. And if they try treat us worse than they already are by going against us and blah blah blah, these parties, then all I can say is that that's just not a good idea, because no one will, if my details come out to the degree that I actually feel that I want to say them, no one would ever want to use these places again. And that detail will come out when I feel like it. But for now, I've given you a gist. And I can't ring my mum. I can't bring her round for a cup of tea for an hour. I can't work because I'm in too much shock. My brother hasn't got a mum anymore. My sister hasn't. We can't do the things that we could do not long ago. So I want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting, even strangers, people sending nice messages of condolences and care and concern and compassion. This story and my work will continue. Like I said, if for any reason I am, unavailable to get my story out, then it will be out in different ways. But I hope that, I don't know what you guys will get from this. I'm sorry I haven't been able to chime in and do comments because I can't do it at the same time. But it's too serious. I'm too heartbroken. But I wanted to get some out, and the reason I wanted to get some out, guys, is because there's been people that have took their own time out of their lives to show me some acknowledgement on my Facebook and they've come in, they've wrote comments, they've acknowledged it, they've acknowledged us, they've acknowledged my mom, and I think you deserve the respect for me to follow up and tell you how the fuck it's going, how we're doing. And so it's not just some article that comes in the Star newspaper. Oh, this has happened, that's happened, this death, that death. Oh, and everyone has a little, collective sadness, and you never hear about it again. That's an absolute no-no with my mum. Veronica Crawford was her name. Or I don't know whether to say Veronica Crawford is her name. That I thought to say was because of the situation. So no. I'm going to do everything I can to continue my work that I've been doing since I was 6-year-old. And I'm certain. I am certain that I will get changes nationally. In regards to safeguarding capacity tests and safeguarding people with mental health conditions. I also want changes in the treatment towards them, in terms of the approach that police take towards them. I've already spoke about this in my complaint 2 years ago. The brutality that's unnecessary needs to be completely different. They're adding lifetimes of trauma onto a person what's already traumatized. I don't think all police are always aware of that, because I don't think they're aware of their own trauma a lot of time. So I will be continuing to make sure that if my mum is going to go out like that, then I am going to make sure that it's not in vain, it's not for nothingness. I will make sure of that. I will make sure that I will be the one to draw a line in the sand, because I'm so sick of hearing I've lost my person, they say services let my this down, and so many people are saying it. It's like, we can't just allow that sentence to continue. We can't just allow this sentence to be so frivolous, like, oh, you just throw it around. Services let my mum down, services let my partner down, he died and she died, and absolutely not, guys. This is not a sentence that should be continuing on. And these people are getting paid. They stood there and they're looking at their job description and they're saying, yes, that's what I sign up to and that's what I'm getting paid for. And this is what I'm still getting paid for. And if you are causing injury or lives to be lost, it is a crime. And it needs the discipline of a crime. So yeah, and there needs education, and there needs changes. And I'm not just talking about when these people say, we're going to make change. And it's like, what change are you on about? There's nothing tangible you can see. There's been no change. People are still dying. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing's getting better from your changes. All these people stood on these question times and on these parliament shows. This, that and other. Nothing is changing. But this time, something's going to change. Something is definitely going to change. Believe me, because this has been a long-standing, burning thing inside me, and I knew I'm going to do something. I never knew my mum was going to go out like that. For that to be the sort of catalyst, final boss catalyst, it's already been harsh. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that. And again, my mum's funeral is 4th of Feb and at City Road, 3:15 p.m. and I just want to say thank you to everyone who's physically making an effort to come to that, because it does bring a lot of comfort and support to us. And it's so much. I've noticed this time when I've spoke out about my mum's death that I've had a different level of community support that I've never had before. and it did help me, and it did elevate the status of what's gone off. So you guys are also assisting in change by supporting someone like me. Not just change for me, but change out there on our streets. Because staff don't necessarily want to be murking patients off. They don't. But it's like it's happening just like that. And in my mum's situation, it could have 1,000,000% been prevented. Obviously she was meant to go that day, but yeah, it was seriously could have been prevented, and they know that, and I think that's why. I don't know exactly what's happening with all the parties because they're ignoring me at the minute, but there's been some developments I've heard about, you know, and I think they are shocked, but again, I do need to focus on my own feelings, my own family's feelings, instead of thinking about how they feel, how shocked they are, how kind and considerate I am, what good's that got me, But I just want to say thank you so much, everyone, for listening to that, yeah, like I said, thanks for the support, and again, all the donations have been just really supportive, because I didn't have that cash to pay up front for funeral. I would have had to lend it, or you know what I mean, even if it's off a few friends, or even worse comes to worse, fuck it, like some sort of loan, because I wouldn't have cared if I have to go into debt for my mum's funeral. But you guys, every little fiver, every little tenner, and some people, you know, they've sent like £100, like £200, and it's like, we've never known out like that. We are just very like thankful for that, because we don't come from that type of support. So thanks so much for the comments, compassion, interest, acknowledgement that I can't even get from those involved, continuous support, you know, and like I said, I've got my mum's funeral coming up, so obviously if you're a genuine person and you genuinely support me, you're welcome to come, and to do after as well, at Champs, like I said. So details are on my top of my pinned post of the funeral on my top of my Facebook. So and again, if you can't come, you don't like funerals and all that, you don't need to feel guilty and that. I'm just saying, look, I'm just saying to those what can, and thanks so much to everyone. You know, on the day that I found out my mum died, I told my friend, and my body for the first time went into a dream. Everything went into a dream. About 6 seconds. It's like I was stuck in this dream thing. It was that shocking. And yeah, I was going to say something else, but I forgot. But never mind. So the point is, I just wanted to say, the fact that you guys have been supporting and stuff like that, you know, you're helping raise awareness as well to what I'm doing. And I imagine this video will get nebbed at by randomers that I don't even know are involved in nebbing at my Facebook regarding this. But I wanted to talk to the people that have been supporting me and my family and tell you where we're at. I've not gone into every detail, but I've given you a snapshot. Should never have happened. Serious safeguarding issues have led to my mum's demise. I'm out of work, they're still getting paid, and this is UK for you. All the best, guys. I will speak to you soon, but I just wanted to get that snapshot out, and I'm sure it's not a snapshot because it's quite long, but yeah, I best get going, and I'm just gonna move on to do what I've got to do. So thanks so much, and yeah, See you later, guys. Bye.